What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you exactly how to put on 20 pounds of muscle regardless of how fast your metabolism is, or if you're new to the gym or someone who's completely advanced. And doing so without having to sacrifice your favorite foods or sacrificing your productivity and energy at work. By the end of this video, you're going to know exactly how to build an epic level physique while going to the gym only 3 to 4 times a week, how to get a lean body without ever having to do some daily cooking, and doing all this without having to do some dirty bulks, eating a bunch of nonsensical food that makes you feel bloated, lazy, and overall fat. Because dirty bulking doesn't work. It's only going to make you fatter, or you're not going to see any result for real. And I won't be holding back. I'm going to give you the entire proven system that allowed me to gain 20 pounds of lean muscle in just 90 days. So whatever you do, don't leave this video, because at the end, I'm going to show you exactly how to copy this and how to do it yourself. This video is really for the guys like me who may have a metabolism so fast that it feels impossible to ever be able to break through that and put on muscle, and more importantly, keep it on. The guys that may have heard something throughout their life like, you look like a stick man, or put some meat on these bones. And overall, for all the guys who are simply tired of thinking about it or procrastinating and truly ready to start learning and take some action steps. So if that's you, you're watching the right video. I encourage you to watch the whole video through, make sure you take some notes and come back if needed. But if that doesn't sound like you, watch some of the other contents on my channel or on my Instagram and come back here when you're ready. But I want to be clear about one thing. This is not a magic pill you just take and then your muscles just tear apart your clothes and here we go. No, you do have to put in the work. But that's a proven process that works for so many people, including me. And not just on their bodies, but also on their minds, because you cannot compare the feeling of overcoming something that you've been struggling with for so many years. Once you overcome that, you know you're feeling unstoppable. And if I'm being 100% honest, the people it doesn't work for are the people who chooses not to follow what is laid out for them, or the people that just gave up before they even began. But if you're anything like me in my beginning stage, where I had a lot of excuses, I had a lot of fears because I felt like there is nothing that can really address my problem, I want to tell you that it's not true. This process works for anyone, regardless of how fast your metabolism is or how busy you are, because it can fit in any schedule. When I was doing all this, I was highly busy as well. So if you're watching this with a super busy schedule, just know that can fit in your schedule. On this note, let's get in the video, baby. But guys, before we get into training, let me tell you guys a little bit about my background and how I got there. So for those who don't know, my name is Terry, and some of you may have noticed by now, I do have an accent, and that's because I lived in many countries. I like traveling, and I basically was born and raised in France, around Paris. But my last 7 to 8 years, I spent then in the USA, baby. But I really started off skin and bones, like literally, as you can see on the top right, that was me right there. This guy on the top right, right next to the Jack dude, that was me. I was skin and bone. I was very, very insecure. I had no confidence. You know, I had no reason to have confidence. Just look at me. I had no real reason to be really confident and to really respect myself. I had a very difficult time to command respect. So I tried bulking up, gaining muscle. I've tried everything, getting everything I can get my hands on. I've tried it all. Nothing worked. It was a waste of time. It just made me more insecure and made me more frustrated. And I just accumulated fat in places that I didn't even like in the first place. So if I were to be very honest, I used to just be overall very depressed. I was not very good with girls. And I thought I would never be able to, gain muscle. I haven't really have a very aesthetic physique and basically bulk up and really just gain weight as a whole, because I had basically failed so many times that I didn't even know if that would be something that would be possible at this point, until the day I met someone that basically had the exact same problem as me, very fast metabolism, skinny skin and bones, and actually overcame the problem and became super jacked, so an amazing physique, basically my dream physique at the time. So that gave me a realization that it is possible. Like, I've seen him go from very skinny to very jacked. And I know that he had a very fast metabolism as well. My entire world basically shattered because I was under the impression that it was impossible. But when I saw it, I just dedicated my life to just get there too. Tried everything possible. And this has been the fire for me to help other guys like me gain the amount of weight and muscle that they've been trying to gain for the past maybe months, weeks, entire years, decades for some of you guys watching. And this overall helped me gain 70 pounds of lean muscle. So that was really worth it. But the thing that was crazy is that I really gained about 90% of all my progress in my last 4 years, because I was doing so much things that were wrong. Like everybody that tells you to dirty bulk, to do this, to do that, I basically did it all. And I realized that that was all bullshit. that was not working. That was not what I needed. And that was not what actually works in the first place. That's just for the common mass, the people that, that can gain weight very easily, or it's not that difficult. That's for those people that are just lazy. But if you already try to gain muscle, to bulk up, etc., and you fail miserably, or you just don't even know how to get started because it just seems so difficult, well, this is the video for you, because you're going to understand from A to Z how to get there and apply it. As you can see right there, this is a picture I've literally taken a few days ago. And I want to point some attention to the bottom picture right there, where I'm weighing about 135 pounds. And then the next one where I'm weighing 165 pounds. I've gained 30 pounds of muscle in just 4 months. In those 4 months, I just went ham. I just found the process that really works for me, what I'm supposed to do, how I'm supposed to eat, and my physique completely exploded. And the craziest thing about all this is that usually, for those who don't know, when you work out as a beginner, you're supposed to pack on the most amount of muscle. That was not the case for me, because my first few years, I was trying to figure out what's supposed to work for me as someone who has a fast metabolism, who was super skinny. So I tried a lot of things. That was all bullshit. That didn't work. And then until I really found what is supposed to work, which has also worked for over 100+ men in the last 3 years that I've been coaching people and helping them get there, it just works. It's just so easy and it's just so simple, but people don't understand how to do it. But it's really not that difficult when you do implement it, because now I am 10 times more confident. I'm having the best time of my life. Women, for those who knows, that's not an issue for me anymore and ever again. It is just different because I've overcame something that, I've been struggling with for so long. Like a lot of you guys watching, that you've been trying to bulk up, gain muscle, you just got fat, or you didn't gain anything. And I know that feeling of you gain a little bit of weight for 1 day, 2 days, and then you go way back down to where you were in the first place. I hated that feeling. That was the worst. And when I overcame it, I just feel unstoppable. I literally feel unstoppable. And I'm going to show you guys how to feel unstoppable. So now let's get in the juicy part of the video. All right. So the first pillar to really be able to get to that goal is your mindset. I know for some of you guys that might sound crazy. That might sound like, I think I have the mindset. No, you don't. You don't have the mindset. If you did, you would have got there. And the first thing that you have to really, really understand is that you need to be open-minded. I know it's difficult in today's society to maybe open your mind to new ideas because there's so many ideas, but you need to keep your mind open to new ideas, to new things, new methods. Because if you're not open-minded, I can't even give you any information that's going to resonate with you because you're not going to listen. Your mind's going to be closed. You're not going to be able to really receive the information and implement it. And at that point, you're just wasting your time. And sadly, you're never going to make any changes because you need to be open-minded. You need to be willing to try because that's the first few steps. Along with that, you really need to admit that you want it. You do want it. If you're watching this video still, you do want it, or else you'd be maybe just complaining in a corner like most people that tried one time or maybe never tried at all and just say, you know what? I just don't have it, man. My metabolism, my life, there's something different about me that just holds me back. No, there's nothing holding you back. Okay, you're not that special. I'm not that special. If I did it, you can do it too. But you have to really believe it. Once you believe it, you can do it. If you don't believe it, how can you do it? You just have to understand that it is possible. And if you're watching this video, you have the desire to make it possible, or else you wouldn't be watching this video. So you have to really drill that into your mind. And it's so simply done by literally telling yourself, you know what? It is possible. You can go on my Instagram. You can see my older pictures. You can see all the stuff, and you can see that I went from skin and bones to jacked, completely jacked. And the real transformation happened at my 4th year of training. Before that, I was going nowhere. I was going nowhere. Like my physique was really mid, and I just accumulated some fat in places I didn't want to in the first place. And then I lost some muscle. That was not what I wanted at all. And then I just changed things up and I completely exploded my physique in 4 months. If I did it, you can do it too. Many other guys that I work with have done it. You can do it. Finally, coachability. At the end of the day, being coachable is very important because I'm going to be giving you so much information that you need to be able to implement, or you need to be able to be humble enough to ask for help. And that's coachability. That's like just being someone that really wants to get there and getting all the resources and the tool to get there, which is what you need. Because once you get there, You are never going to look back ever again. And the only wish you have is that you have done it sooner. But that wish will be nothing compared to the new lifestyle you're going to live once you have overcame that hurdle that you've been trying to just, you know, dash in the back of your head, acting like you don't know, acting like you have no ability to do anything and that the world is against you. And I understand where you're coming from. I understand that you have a lot of fears, you have a lot of excuses, you have a lot of reason why you believe that you can't do it because you've tried a lot of times, because you believe that it's not that simple. And I get that because I've been there. I know exactly what it feels like to just look at the scale one day, goes up, the next day goes down, and you're just like, bro, I've been eating so much. What am I supposed to do next? I get it. I get it. Anyway, if you're still watching this video, you're definitely a go-getter. So now let's get right into the goal setting and the tracking part. Second pillar, very, very important. If we don't lay out the foundation, we can't get anywhere. And that starts with being able to track your weight and take a before picture. Why? Because you need to be able to see in real time if there's any difference in your physique. And a before picture and another picture afterward is an amazing way to be able to compare the two and really see if you made some progress. But before you can even make any progress, you need to really know exactly what is your starting weight. And I know that sounds crazy because some of you guys are like, I know how much I weighed. I've been weighing 70 kilograms or 160 pounds for so long. The truth is your weight do fluctuate day to day basis. And you need to know exactly how much you weigh basically most of the time. In other words, you need to weight yourself every day for 1 week. Same time. You weight yourself first thing in the morning after you use the bathroom, but before you eat anything. This is going to be the most accurate representation of your actual weight. You do that for an entire week. You make sure that you record it, that maybe you write it down or something, that you really get comfortable with the actual weight that you're starting with. Now you know where you're starting. So that's one good thing. The next thing you need to know is exactly how much you eat on a regular basis. What does that mean? You need to track your calories and macros. If you're not tracking, you're just guessing. If you're not tracking, you're just guessing. And guess what? It's okay to be guessing once you got to a certain level. But before you get to where you want to be, you need to track. You need to get comfortable with it so you can really understand where you're coming from. Because guys, when I started tracking things, that changed my entire world. I used to think that I was eating 3,500 calories. Track my stuff, I was at 2,500. I was shocked. I was like, I thought this, I thought that. One of the easiest way to track your calories and macros is MyFitnessPal because it's so simple. You can literally even take a picture of what you're eating and that can estimate it. I mean, how simple do we need to get? And I know that some of you guys are very short on time. Guys, you will take no more than 2 minutes a day of recording your calories. That doesn't take more than 30 seconds to put it in there. Like that's so simple. If you can't dedicate 2 to 5 minutes to track some calories a day for a few weeks, come on, let's be serious. You're watching a 30-minute video right now. You can dedicate 5 minutes a day max. Once you really track your calories for about a week, 2 weeks, and you really look at your calories intake, your actual macro intake accurately, you're going to know exactly where you're starting from. And that's going to be the basis to be able to know how much you're supposed to eat, etc. After that, we need to set some goals, which is number 3. You need to set the goals that will be aligned with how much you're eating currently and what's your weight. Usually you want to be about a 500 calorie surplus. So now let's get into the third pillar, talking about diet and all. Nutrition. That is the best segue you ever seen. Admit it. Anyway, as someone that wants to gain muscle, that may have a very fast metabolism, that doesn't know what you're supposed to do, you're probably very lost in your nutrition. Even if you want to lose weight, you're probably lost in your nutrition. Everyone tends to be lost in their nutrition. Why? Because it's difficult at first hand. I used to be so lost as well. Honestly, that's when I really started to tighten up my diet that other gains exploded as well. Like literally, nutrition is a foundation. You can't have a shitty workout and an amazing diet plan and get gains, but you can't have a shitty diet and an amazing workout and really get gains. But if you want the best out of the two, you need an amazing workout and you need an amazing diet. If someone takes 5 years to achieve a certain physique, you would get it in maybe 1 year or 2 years. That's what the power of dieting and locking in your training does to you. And I'm the living proof. That's why I've gained so much muscle in just 4 months. I'm not special. Many of my clients have done it too. We can all do it. It is very, very simple. Anyway, so now TDEE, that's the amount of calories you basically burn on a regular day. You want to know your TDE because that's going to give you a good estimate of how much calories you're supposed to eat on a regular basis. And you can find it out fairly simply by just going on Google. Wow, I know, right? It's crazy. Going on Google and writing TDEE calculator. That's going to give you a rough estimate of where you're standing from. Obviously, that's not going to be completely perfect. That can always have errors and that can be a little bit off, but you're going to get a great estimate to really make your game plan. Then that's going to allow you to determine the calorie surplus that you need to get in, which my recommendation is about 500 to 700. But one of the most important thing is your macro split, the macro goal. That's where the metabolic priming really comes in. That's where the entire game plan comes full circle and goes crazy. That's where you get some amazing looking gains. You want your food to be about 45% carbs, 35% proteins, and 25% fat. And I've seen with so many clients that is so effective because when you do a dirty bulk, etc., you just eat a bunch of fat, a bunch of carbs, and you get fat, or you're not even gaining anything, and you probably feel very lazy. You feel this and that. But when you actually have the proteins, what it's supposed to be 35%, and the carbs, what it's supposed to be 45%, and the fats, what it's supposed to be 25%, the game changes. Now let's get into the fourth pillar. Oh yeah, baby. Training. Training. So now let's talk about training. So training, you need to determine where you are. Overall, regardless if you're a beginner, an advanced lifter, or an intermediate, you should only work out about 3 to 4 times a week to gain the most muscle possible, especially with a fast metabolism. You should only work out 3 to 4 times a week. Matter of fact, for a lot of you guys, 3 times a week will be the requirement because you work so much, you have so much on your plate, you don't have time to work out so many times. And that's perfect because you don't have to, especially with a fast metabolism. You don't have to work out that much, but you have to work out in an effective manner so you can really gain the most amount of muscle when you do work out, which is what I do, which is how I can get away with only working out 3 to 4 times a week. And people are like, that's crazy. I thought you're supposed to work out 6 times a week. No, no one that I ever worked with has worked out 5 days a week. I don't make anyone work out 5 to 6 to 7 days a week unless they really want to. But most of the people are just, too busy to do that. So 3 times a week is perfect. And that's all you need to really get the most amount of muscle possible. Because if you think about it, you have a fast metabolism or you have a difficult time gaining muscle. So the more time you work out and you really burn calories, the more difficult it's going to be for you to basically gain muscle and gain weight. The more calories you burn, then the less amount of weight you're going to be able to put on. So you need to just work out when you need to and put on the most amount of muscle when you do. And that's done with progressive overload and also combining it with supersets and drop sets. For those who don't know, supersets is basically, you do one exercise and right after it, you do another one right away before you take any breaks. And then you take a break and then you do that again. That's what a superset is. For a lot of you guys, supersets will be crucial because you don't have that much time. You're busy, you got a lot on your plate. Supersets literally bridge the gap between you being too busy to do something to being able to do it. That's how you can shorten your workout to only an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and 30 minutes. That works all the time. And you're also going to have an amazing pump after the workout. So you go in the office with a massive pump. People are asking you, whoa, you look crazy. Your suit is looking tighter than usual. Your shirt is looking really tighter. Are you taking something? This is what you want people to be telling you. And that happens very much when you do utilize supersets effectively though. Drop sets, one of my favorite type of thing to do. Drop sets. It's the same exact logic. That's almost like a superset, but you do one exercise and you just lower the weight after you've done one set of that exercise and just do another set right away. No pause. And then you can even do another one after that. And you can even keep going almost, but you don't want to do it too many times. You don't need to do like 5 to 10 or whatever like that. And you want to usually utilize this at the end of an entire set, meaning that if you have 3 sets of one exercise, you wait until the third set to really do that. If you do that, you're going to see your gains not double, but definitely triple. And that also allows you to save up a lot of time. And the pump on this is also massive. So you go in the office or you go home to your wife and she's like, wow, this guy's looking crazy. Is he really my husband? Yes, this is the type of reaction we all want. Let's not lie to each other, okay? Yes, we do. Guys, your 1 rep max is very simple. It's basically the most amount of load or the most amount of weight you can push for whatever exercise. To figure that out, you don't have to go tomorrow to the gym and just throw the most weight you can and maybe risk an injury, especially if you're someone who's new or someone who's not or someone who's not very accustomed to basically training for so many years. What I would recommend you to do is just go on Google and you type one rep max calculator and basically whatever weight you're going to be able to do for 10 reps, that's going to be able to estimate it. You just got to log in 10 reps and that's going to give you a good estimate on what your one rep max is for whatever exercise that you choose. And that's going to be very, very crucial. So you know exactly where you're starting from and you know where you're going and you see your progression going up. And that's going to keep you motivated. And that's basically going to make you also enjoy the process a lot more, especially if you're not someone that, that really loves going to the gym or something like that. Because myself, I used to love going to the gym at some point, but now I'm not really fond of the gym as much. So I had to find multiple ways to make it so enjoyable for me to still go and get the gains. But you need to do it in a certain way that's going to benefit your life and you're going to enjoy it as much as possible. And that's what I do. And that's how I changed from working out 5 to 6 times a week to just 3 times a week. And I love it because when I do go, I have an amazing pump. I feel amazing. I have a lot of energy. I see all the benefits, but I don't have to go that much. And that's what you want. Anyway, let's get to the fifth pillar. Obviously, one of the most difficult pillar for 99% of you guys watching, accountability, staying consistent. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. If you can't stay consistent, you're not going to do anything. It's not going to go anywhere. If you do what I tell you, you will 110% get there. It's a proven process. But if you don't do it, if you can't stay consistent, you're not going to be able to even see any result. And you have to think it like this. Your network is your net worth, meaning that who you're around impacts you significantly. In my years of coaching, in my years of helping people, what I've seen that works the most is people really having someone behind them that's knowledgeable, that's been there, that's basically done the entire journey themselves, and that knows that it does work, basically walking them through the entire process, helping them, making them do the changes or whatever, adjust things along the line rapidly to get the fastest result, the best result. And I know that a lot of you guys, like myself back then, struggle with being accountable when it comes to this part of your life. And I know it because my first 4 years, I was on and off going to the gym, on and off trying things because I was getting frustrated or whatever excuses I had going on. Like, I don't know, I had to walk my fish or whatever. You guys know the stories. Anyway, but the reality is, if you could really do all of this on your own, you probably wouldn't be watching this video in the first place. But asking for help, it takes humility, but it's very, very crucial and important. Because myself, I would have never got there if I didn't ask for help. Literally, I am not preaching what I don't do. I do what I preach. So let me tell you guys what accountability would actually looks like with me. So I would tailor you a training plan that's going to really fit your life, your lifestyle, your liking, etc. I would tailor you also a nutrition plan that's going to fit your specific problem. If you don't get something that's really tailored to you, it's not going to work, especially if you're someone that's skinny, that's been trying before, or that has no idea. You're going to be trying for years, never get there, and regret that you didn't take the opportunity like many others have done. If I didn't take the opportunity to ask this guy everything that he's done and try everything I can, I would have never got there. But the truth is, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to keep suffering and keep lying to yourself into, well, my situation is different. I can't do it. Guys, everyone tells themselves this. And if you're someone that makes money, you're an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, imagine this mentality in business. You'd be broke. You'd be homeless. And you know it. You'd be no one. But the truth is, you didn't have this mindset. You thought that, no, actually, if I am different, I'm different in a good manner. I am better. I can do better. I can make it happen. So use that same mentality into your fitness journey. And then you're going to be also as unstoppable as you are in business, in your career, in your profession, than in every other areas in your life. I would monitor your calories, monitor your training. We would have weekly one-on-one calls. In reality, who's really more qualified to help you than someone that's been in your exact shoes, that struggled the exact same way that you did, and that basically overcame that problem and got his dream physique? I think it's pretty obvious, but obviously it's up to you. But you're really left with two decisions out here. Either A, you can go and implement all those stuff on your own and find the time to navigate through the learning curve and find the best routine that you really can. and you're probably going to be able to do it. Or option B, you can get help with it. Because to be honest, most of the time, people that pick option A never really take action. They have no idea how to do it because this stuff can be quite hard at times. So you really need a mentor to do it. And that's exactly what we do here in my program. We hop on a quick call, we talk about your specific situation, avoiding the learning curve, expedite the entire process, which all come with a tailored training plan, tailored nutrition plan, and weekly one-on-one check-in calls, and many other resources that would be available to you. So if you're someone that would really want to get that mentorship because you really don't want to figure all this stuff out on your own, but you actually want to expedite the entire process, just click the link in my bio, book a call with us. The call is completely free of charge. We're just going to literally talk about your specific situation and see if I can really help you get there. So again, if you want to get some incredible results like all of my other clients and get amazing things like you can see on the screen, if that's you, click the link in the bio, book a call with me and my team so we can talk about your specific situation and give you as much value as possible so you can expedite the process, forget all the bullshit, and never look back. And be so glad and happy that now people can see the muscles right through your clothes to the point that they're like, whoa, because that feeling is really something else. I will not be lying to you guys. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace.